All right, we're getting ready to get started here. LV, if you want to let everybody in, and we got to start the webinar first, though. I'm gonna hit start webinar. Okay, get this started. Here we go. Starting the webinar. All right, super excited about today, guys. We'll get started. We got a lot of people coming in. We had to go to a webinar versus a Zoom call. We're going to go into the details. I'm going to share my screen here in just a second and just walk through what we're doing now, what we're looking for help with, and how we can potentially work together collectively and do more deals together, and obviously help more people and make more money. So, Elvia, do we have everybody in the room? Has everybody been admitted, or are you still waiting for a few more to come in?
You're all in now.
All right, all in. Well, guys, if you guys missed anything, go back and watch the recording. This is live, and we're gonna walk through this real quick. Hopefully, we want to answer all the questions and show you everything, so you have a really good understanding on what this is about. So there's no questions left unanswered. How you guys can get started almost immediately. And we're ready to roll. So we've been doing this for a long time, and we're gonna do that. So let me share my screen. Figure out where it is here. Give me 1 second. I think this is it. Move this around. I'm going to hit share, and let's get right into this here. All right, super. LV, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let me just move this over here. And we should be good to go. All right. Does that look okay, Elvia?
Yes.
All right, super. So this is the USA Lead Machine JV Partner Program overview. We're not selling anything. There's nothing to buy. You were invited. You got to this video or this webinar that we're doing right now because you said that you were capable of doing these types of deals that we're going to talk about, and you're looking to potentially partner in some of the markets that we're getting ready to go into. So I am going to just we're doing this in a mind map. There's no slideshow. Like I said, there was nothing to sell. We're going to just walk through at a very high level exactly what it is we're doing. So let's start right here, and let's talk about what this is not. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Oops, give me 1 second to move this over the way. Let's move it here so you can see it. I don't know why that's there. Get that out of my way. What is this not? This is not education. Guys, we are not educating you guys. You guys should already be educated. If you're looking to figure out how to do creative deal structuring, okay, this is not the place. If you don't know it and you want to learn it, you can reach out to Pace Morby, Brad Smotherson, Mojo Michael, Alan Chesker, Joe and Jen Lefevre, Jesse Mills, John Jackson. There's 100 of them. If you want my personal recommendations or need help, email us for a referral. support@nickthenoteguy.com. We do not teach you how to negotiate. We do not teach you how to generate leads. We do not teach you how to do the front end of the transaction. What we do, or did I say do? I think I did. Is that I help you with the deal structuring and the compliance and the underwriting and the protection of the transaction from acquisition to disposition. Okay, so that is what we do. Okay, what we don't do is education. Okay, we do not do training relative to those things. You should already know how to negotiate a deal and how to dispo a deal either directly or indirectly. So if you don't know how to acquire, this is all creative financing deals, not wholesale deals. All the leads that we're providing as of right now and are all creative financing structured deals, all creative deal structuring, either seller financing, either sub 2 or hybrid. Okay. And they're either all direct to seller or via through an agent. One of those three. Okay. One of those two, I should say. That's it. Oh, by the way, use the Q&A, not the chat, for any questions during this actual webinar. Okay. We'll be checking them as well. Matter of fact, I'll pull that up on my screen so I can see it as we go along. Don't feel free to ask questions. I'll answer them when they're appropriate. And then at the very end of the webinar and the overview, we will open it up to live Q&A. Just raise your hand virtually. We'll bring you on and you can ask any questions that you want to have answered. All right, so that is what it's not. Guys, if you haven't done a creative financing deal, if you haven't negotiated one, this is not the place for you. I'm telling you right now, don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. Don't waste the team's time. We have plenty of leads to partner with you guys on. But what we need from you is the ability to finalize the negotiations. We'll help you structure the deal creatively based on using the software. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And then for you to figure out a way to dispo, because I'm in Texas, for example. You might be in Cincinnati, Ohio. Great. I do not have a huge disposition channel for Cincinnati, Ohio. So you're going to have to figure out a way to be able to dispo it. We have some tools, and we might be able to help and assist in it, but ultimately, it's your responsibility as a JV partner to make sure we find the back-end buyer. Okay, because this is a rev share. Okay, and this is how, and we'll talk about that as we go along as well. All right, so let's go to the next one. So a little bit. First of all, who am I? Okay, why should you listen to me? Most of you guys know me already. If you don't, Nick the Note Guy. I'm a creative financing expert. I've been doing this almost 25 years. I've only do creative financing and creative deal structuring. That's all that I do. I don't do apartment complexes. I don't do buy and holds. I don't do land. I don't do anything. I do creative deal structuring. It's all that I've done for almost 2,000 transactions. And that's what we do. We try to figure out how to generate cash now, cash flow, cash later. That's how I stay in these deals. But for you guys might just want to turn around and get an assignment fee on them and split the revenue, but you have the opportunity to stay in these deals if you're qualified and capable of doing it. But that's not what we're really doing here. This is about finding deals, contracting them, and exiting out. Okay. This same process that we have implemented through the lead generation system with our partner USA Lead Machine. This is the same system that I sold to a federally chartered bank. Guys, I sold a seller financing business and a transaction management solution company to a 100-year-old federally chartered bank. Okay. I might not know everything. I might not be the best, but I can tell you this. I understand compliance, due diligence, and underwriting. Okay. And I know how to protect the consumer. I know how to protect the seller. I know how to protect you as the investor or anybody else that's a party to this transaction, because we do things one way and it's the right way. It's the same way that banks do it. And we emulate what a bank does. We want to think, act, and be a bank. And if we're not going to do it internally, we need to make sure our partners in the transaction follow those instructions. In fact, I'm going to have Alan on. Hey, is Alan on right now by chance?
No, it's
Okay.
not fine.
When he gets there, let me know, and then we'll bring on Alan and we'll talk about the importance and the legal side of this. Okay. This is what we do. Okay. And then I created the Deal Evaluator software, which is a software that we use specifically for structuring these types of transactions. Okay. We're going to show that in a minute. So that's who I am. Okay. Did you believe what I say? I don't know. Go Google me. I don't really care. But this is what the opportunity is. Okay. This isn't about me. This is about you guys and utilizing a lead generation system that doesn't cost you anything to be part of, assuming you qualify, okay, as a potential JV partner. So who is the team? Okay, this is really important because the team you're part of this team moving forward, okay? Your role as a team member is going to be acquisitions manager, disposition manager, okay? You are part of the team. The other members of the team is the managing director of USA Lead Machine, which is Spencer Peterson. I'll have him on here at the end to bring him on Q&A. There's IT tech support, which is Moby. That's what his responsibility is, make sure the platform runs correctly, answer any questions that you have from a technical perspective relative to the platform that we've customized for you to use as a JV partner. We have client managers, Ryan and Matthew, that help take the leads and data and move it from the top of the funnel, if you will, all the way down to give you the qualified lead, the vetted lead, and even the contract to finish the negotiations with directly with the seller and or the agent, depending on how the lead comes in. Okay. We have internal counsel, which on the legal side, which is Alan Chesker. Hopefully he'll be on. He was on another call. When he joins, we'll bring him in and just introduce him. We have servicing and underwriting. So Hale, is he on the call by chance yet? I know he was gonna try to.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so we'll bring him on in a second. We have the insurance, and we use our brokers for that because insurance is an integral part. And matter of fact, when I bring Sohail on here in about 1 minute, we'll talk about how this all funnels and why you guys need to have the understanding on what happens after the transaction begins. Like just because we can find a seller that says yes to a creative financing deal, just because we can find a buyer that says, yes, I'll buy it. That's the easy part. The most complex part is the underwriting and the back end of this transaction. That's why we have the best people in my opinion, on the planet that do these kind of things. On the seller agent support, we have May, she handles that piece of it. And compliance, deal structuring, and note creation, that's what my responsibility is to you guys. We're going to do a deal evaluator. We're going to use the software. I'm going to determine whether it's a deal or not. And then from that point, make a decision on if we want to move forward on it or not. And if we do move forward, how do we manage the transaction? How do we manage the transaction to protect all parties, the buyer, the seller, the agent, the title company, the private money lender, Wells Fargo, if they're involved in the deal, you as an investor, because these creative financing transactions will last, if done properly, 10, 15, 20 years. These don't go away in 6 months. At least mine do not, okay? You might have people that have said, hey, my note's being called due. I've only had it for 2 months. Well, that's because more than likely something was done improperly on the due diligence and the compliance side of it, okay? And then the transaction solutions, we use David Olds, and that's another one we get to the nationwide basis and stuff. So before we get into the strategic partners, I'm going to stop my share. Let me bring Sohail on for a second. So I want to ask him a few questions. Can we bring Sohail on real quick? And because I know he's busy as well. And I want to talk, just ask him a couple quick questions and just talk about the importance of underwriting the borrower on a wrap as well as the servicing side. There he is. All right, let me see if I can pin him here. What's up, man? How are you? Oh,
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this, man. I know it's a little bit in the middle of the day and stuff, but what we've done, Sohail, and why I wanted to bring you in here is because Sohail's, I call him the caboose of the train, right? Because he is on the back end of the transaction side. He has nothing to do with the acquisition. He has nothing to do with the negotiations. He has nothing to do with the exit to the wrap buyer. What he does, he's probably more involved in the transaction for the longevity than any other party because he is our servicer, okay? And the servicing is in my opinion, is one of the most, if not the most important part of the process, because as you guys know, and I'll let Sohail talk here in a second, is that this is where, if it isn't done right up until the point it gets to servicing, you might not be able to even have the note service. So Sohail also understands the RMLO process. So just take a few minutes and just talk at a real high level the importance of underwriting of the borrower when we do a wrap mortgage, especially dealing with stuff like Dodd-Frank, SAFE Act, all the CFPB, all these things that no one understands how to do correctly, and why that's important up until the point that it gets to servicing.
So, and Nick, thank you for having me on. From the underwriting origination standpoint, in fact, I just made a post on Facebook as well, because I heard some gentlemen that are experienced note buyers last night talk about how badly put together a RMLO package tends to be and how big of a negative impact it has on the sale of that note. So
Very
what they
true.
discussed was they were saying, look, I reviewed this note package a couple of days ago, and when they looked at the RMLO package, the only thing it had was an application. And there were no supporting documentation for income, assets, things like that. No disclosures, no credit report, none of that stuff, which is very important and doing your due diligence and making sure that your borrower can actually afford to pay that payment. And so these things are very important. Using a RMLO to ensure that your borrower has the ability to pay, and not just what they're saying, but can they back up? Can they document their ability to pay? And then obviously, just putting all the documents together, pulling credit, assets, putting the package in such a way that it's not only presentable, but it makes your note more valuable if you ever decide to sell it.
Well, or if you're forced to sell it, right? Because this is
Or
why I
forced to sell
write a first and a second lien, and we're not going to talk about any of that today, but anybody that follows me and knows what I'm talking about, we write true liens because in the event that there is a due on sale, okay, that we can take that note, that first lien, and we can sell it, we can hypothecate it, we can partial, we do whatever we want to do with it and go pay off the underlying lien and still potentially stay in the deal depending on what the equity position and the time and all these other factors that go in. This is how come we don't have things go to foreclosure that are forcibly due on sale, because we have an exit, okay? Why is this important to the people in it? Because most of the people that are in it, that are doing, are just going to go negotiate these transactions. Somebody else is going to be a potential buyer for it. But it's really important for the people that are negotiating it, in my opinion, Sohail, is that they need to know they need to vet their buyer, okay? Whether they're an investor or an owner occupant, they need to know who they're getting in bed with. Be quite honest with you, because you're tied to this transaction just like everybody else is, whether you think you are or not. And I think this is the biggest misunderstanding, is that they think it's not a traditional wholesale deal, that you're clearing title and you're resetting. This is not a reset. This is a continuation and adding stuff on to the process. So super, super important. That's why insurance, super important. So the reason why I wanted to bring this in, the good news is for the people that are negotiating, they don't need to worry about all this. We already do this. What I'm saying is, because it's my company name that we're buying these properties in, and we're negotiating as part of, is that we're going to make sure that we're protecting the integrity of the transaction, because guess what? They're not going to get to pick their underwriter. They're not going to get to pick their servicer. They're not going to get to pick their insurance company, and they're not going to get to pick their attorneys or their title company. We're going to mandate that because we know what the best business practices are, what best banking principles look like, okay? And we're going to just do it for them, okay? Or it's going to be done in continuance with what we know to be successful and working. So that's all I really wanted to say. Sohail is on the back end of the thing, but we want to make sure that it's all done up until that point, because Sohail, how many times do you have a creative financing deal come in and you go, I can't board this loan? Have you ever had that happen?
Just this week, I had to turn down 2 loans
You
because
turn
they were
down
not
2 loans.
2 loans for servicing, because we I don't know how other servicers operate, okay? But I'll speak for myself. If I see that a note is not put together properly, I will not onboard it, because it really is not enforceable. It's not collectible. So we had to ask the lenders to go back, and I gave them a set of instructions and said, go ahead and have it reclosed based on this criteria.
So let me
And these
interrupt you for a second,
loans.
Jeanette. So you're saying they already closed the loan, and now you're gonna ask the lender to go back to the borrower and hopefully have the borrower say, yeah, I'll redo the loan. Because does the borrower any under legal obligation to do that?
I don't know the right answer. Well, I know the right answer, but
I
the
know
answer
that's
is
fine.
really no. The
Probably not.
borrower can walk at that point if they want, and they're entitled to all their money back. Now, the reason I say that is both of these were Texas wraps.
Which is a
So
whole other issue.
exactly. So the
Because if you
lenders
can't
work on
serve,
it.
because if you can't have your loan serviced on a wrap in the state of Texas, that's a problem, because you're required, if it's to a consumer, to have it serviced. Is that correct?
It's the right thing to do to
Okay.
have a third party servicer,
Best
because
banking practices and principles, and that's the bottom line. That's all that we want to do.
there's so many fiduciary requirements that you don't ever want to cross the Texas Finance Commission.
No, 100%. So that I don't want to get too much into weeds on this. I just want to introduce you because you were on the call and I appreciate you coming on this so that people understand that this is like what we do is like legit. Because when I sold my company to the bank, okay, and they were buying all these privately created notes, I went through 10 months of of underwriting and due diligence, and they're looking at everything that we just got done talking about here. And I can promise you they would not have bought what we were selling them if we didn't cross the T's and dot all the I's and follow everything relative to the consumer lending. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to do a wrap mortgage, regardless of where we play in this, we are lenders to consumers. This is not a real estate transaction. This is a lender to consumer. It's a whole different ballgame. And that's why we're bringing this in and we're making this available to our strategic partners and our JV partners to make sure they don't have to worry about this stuff, man. It's not, I hate doing all this. Believe me, this is not fun for me, but it's an integral part of protecting the integrity for the life of them. Because look, when I do this deal and I'm going to stay in these deals, I want them to last 20 years. When I do them, my intention is to keep this thing going for 20 years. And that's not 20 days. So anyway, I don't want to take any more of your time. We'll probably bring you back in as we get further on down the line. But guys, I just want you to understand the importance of underwriting, servicing, insurance relative to this, but it's already been integrated on the back end side of it. So we already have all of that in place. And it just a pass through. So I'll let you go. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up for you?
Just wanted to remind you, we're now in 47 states.
Yeah, that's why we have. So we do all of it in there as well. So when you come through there, Sohail loves enough stuff that we send him over. So, all right, buddy. Thanks for your time. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right. All right. Back to our regular scheduled program. Okay. So that is I appreciate him jumping in for that. Speaking of that, Elvia, did Alan join yet by chance? Since we're talking about this?
Ooh, nope, not yet.
He was in the middle of something, so he's going to hopefully try to do it, but if he can't, then we'll just move on. All right, so let me go back to sharing my screen here and get going. Guys, that's all I wanted to share with you so you guys understand your job is to acquire and disposition. Our
You
job
know,
is,
he is, Nick. I'm
oh,
sorry.
he is. All right,
Yeah,
well, then
wait.
let's bring him in real quick before I go back to screen sharing. This is an important part of the back end of this as well. Awesome. There he is. Let me add him to a pin.
You had me all cut off. I couldn't talk. I couldn't chat.
No, we're very, very, very particular on who we give the mic to.
I hear you. I hear you.
Were you just on when I was talking to Sohail, or did you just
Yep.
join? Okay, so we won't recap on that. So Alan is one of my trusted advisors, friends, but he's more importantly, he is probably, well, Alan, I'll let you say. Tell me how long you've been doing, you're an attorney, you're in Texas, you understand sub 2 wraps, the misuse of the word sub 2. We won't get into that right now, but talk real at a high level. What you've been doing for the last 20, how many deals do you think that you've either done personally and or facilitated as part of an attorney and a title company?
Well, on the title side, I stopped counting at around 10,000, and that was 3 years ago.
Okay.
It's all we've been doing. Well, I say it's all we've been doing. We've been focusing extremely, an extreme amount on them since the 07-08 recession. And, a lot of title offices will move out as the market shifts. We stay in. And so, my statement is we're really just a title office that does this complex creative stuff. And we have a law office to support us, as opposed to, a title office has in-house counsel, but they can't work the file. We can.
Yeah, they're not they look at it in a different, even though I use attorneys like doctors, right? You don't go to the cardiologist if you need to have your knee fixed, right? Even though they're both doctors, right? And not all attorneys are created equal. Not all title companies are created equal. And what I like about what you do is that you're very specialized on exactly the type of transactions that we're processing and going through. And my other favorite part about what you do, unfortunately, if these are outside of Texas, we have we can't actually close these transactions. You can't do them. We have other relationships with other attorneys and other title companies, other states. But in Texas specifically, the ability to stay in and help facilitate in the event of something, default, for example, or a due on sale, even more appropriately. I think that's super, super important, where a lot of attorneys would say, hey, not my problem, go figure it out. We actually have that on our side, and that's very, very important to the nature of these transactions. So I just wanted to introduce you guys. So if you were doing deals in Texas, Alan is going to be is our primary and attorney and title company for sub-2 seller financing and hybrid transactions, primarily wraps. Outside of Texas, not so much, but we still educate and consult for people that are doing deals in Ohio, because if you learn how to do these in Texas, I have yet to find another state, maybe you know of one, Alan, that if you follow Texas guidelines and SB 43 and Texas Property Code 5.016, if you implement all that stuff that we do here in the state of Texas and you take it to Ohio and modify it for that state, I don't think you're going to miss anything.
They're likely not to have the regulations that we have. So therefore we're over inclusive in terms of what we're doing. Texas has been doing these, so long that the legislature has caught up and passed, I was going to say regulations, but we'll call it statutes, teaching us how to do them correctly. And so if you're complying with Texas law, I would bet you're complying with every single state.
The other thing that we provide as well, and I'm going to just, I wasn't going to bring, wasn't thinking about bringing this up, is that we also have continuing education for agents on creative deal structuring. What's the name that we decided that we're using on this now? Wrap mortgages, is that what we're calling it?
Well, yeah, they're all wraps. They're either
wrap, but what's the name of the CE class that people can take for? It doesn't matter.
I'm teaching realtors investing knowledge for realtors.
Yeah. So bottom where I'm going with this, not only is it legal, okay, but we can teach agents for credit, continuing education credit taught by an attorney. I'll just leave it at that. There is no argument at that point in time, at least not one that's valid that's going to win. So those are the main things, and we can teach that and we can share that same knowledge base outside of Texas. Just can't get CE credit for it because we're not doing CE authorized, not authorized in these other states. Again, another value add. And then as part of this group here, we do monthly live calls with Alan and ask the attorney, I call him ask the attorney, relative to creative deal structuring questions and answers. And in fact, when we get to it, we'll share the link for anybody that has not seen the Wrap University. Highly, highly, highly recommend that it's extremely inexpensive. Go get it, learn it, understand it, get access to this, just from an educational standpoint, because a lot of stuff in it is not taught by others. In fact, Alan educates other attorneys in other states quite a bit and consults for them on creative deal structuring, wrap mortgages, and so forth. So I don't know many other people that I won't trust any of my stuff. Even when I do a deal out of the state, I'm still going to consult Alan to make sure that if there's something that I'm missing or I need help with. So Alan, do you have anything you want to add? I mean, how many creative financing deals do you come in, primary sub-2, when it comes into the title that they don't have all the disclosures correct, they don't have all the documentation right, for every 10 that come in, how many do you have to slap their hand and say, no, you got to do it this way?
I would say, in terms of are we tweaking it and helping on things, 9 out of 10 times that we're correcting something's actually wrong, needs to be corrected, probably 6 out of 10.
Yeah, which is 6 too many, because we have zero tolerance, in my opinion, when you start dealing with a consumer and even a seller, when you start dealing with compliance and regulatory statutes and all that stuff. So super, super important, and that's why this is the number one thing I hear about you guys, okay? And this is what I love more than anything. It's got, they take way too long. okay? I never hear it's too expensive. I always say they take too long. And I'm going to say, you know what? If I'm going to go in and have open heart surgery and Alan's my doctor, I'm going to say, Alan, you take as long as you need to do to make sure that you get it right. And this is no different. And it's really, these are very complex transactions. There's a lot of disclosures. There's a lot of documents that need to be signed and executed. And really, for the most part, it's really to protect more the seller and the buyer side of the transaction, not necessarily us as the investors, okay? This is why we're doing it. Sometimes we got to keep sending these things back and we got to get it. And at the end of the day, these files might be 500 pages, but it's really to protect buyers and sellers, agents, the integrity of the transaction. Guys, don't ever question how long it's taken to get something done, because it's done for a very, very specific reason. And if anybody doesn't like it, then they can go find somebody else and take us out of the equation. So I'm fine.
We have it pared down to 7 to 10 business days, unless we're waiting on a surveyor or HOA or something of that nature. So it's pretty fast now. Sometimes folks are thinking, we actually had someone come in with a contract and they handed it to the receptionist. She receipted it, handed a receipted copy back, and they said, well, can we sign today? So sometimes there's expectation issues.
Yeah. All right. That's all I want to do. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. Guys, they just brought them on in the middle of this just because I wanted to make sure they were, they weren't sitting on there the whole hour while we're getting through this. So, all right, buddy, I will talk to you later. Thanks for the time, and we'll
All right.
talk soon. See you now.
I appreciate you.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Now we're back to our regular schedule program. So let me go back to share my screen. Figure out where I was. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so we just talked about the team. Okay, we got through all that. That's great. So perfect. So let's talk about the partners real quick, okay? Because you guys get access to all of the stuff that we have available. Because look, Alan's been done this over 10,000 deals. I've been doing this for over 20, almost 25 years. We built this, it took me 426 deals before I figured out how to structure them correctly to do this. This is all the benefit that not only you guys get in being a partner, but also your clients get as a result of it. So let me just show you some of these strategic partners that we have. So Nick the Note Guy, you can go here. Everything that we do, me as a brand, it's all right here. Okay. You can go back and read it anytime you want. Okay. USA Home Partners is the transaction management solution company that manages all of the transactions from acquisition to disposition. It's all right here. This is all part of the things. Think of it like a TC on steroids. Most TCs do not know don't understand anything about compliance. They've never worked for a bank. They never sold to a bank, okay? They can process paper, but they don't understand all the documents. Probably don't know what CFPB is, SAFE Act, Garn St. Germain, SB 43, Texas Property Code 5.01, all these things, they're there. Super important that we have there. So that's what USA Home Partners does. USA Note Pro is the note side of it. So if we ever get into a situation where we got to buy or sell a note, I don't know why that changed there. This is where we at. We buy, sell notes, we create notes. So what we do, this is my number one business. Everything I do is to create a note. This is what banks do, okay? You might have a note that you want to sell. This is what we would use this for, okay? What else do we have? We got Deal Evaluator software, okay? You guys are going to get this software. You don't need to buy it, okay? You can go in and let me see where this other link is here. Let's go here. If you go here, you'll go get a link to register for it. We'll go in. We're going to show a quick demo on a deal that we just put in here. Here's all the application and platform and all the stuff. Then if you already are using it, great. If you're not using it, you'll get access to. There's no charge for this. If you're in the system and you're doing deals, you'll get to it. You won't pay for this at all. Okay. What else do we have in here? We have the Note Unlimited platform. This is our note management platform. We can buy notes, sell notes. You can manage your notes. You can do everything inside here. You have access to this as well if you're a part of the JV Partner Program. And USA Partner Solutions is just our. Why is that not opening? There we go. Can I do it? Huh? No, why it didn't? Oh, let me just click it again. This is the parent company of all the stuff that we're talking about. So if you go here, This is what we use for when we're dealing with agents and sellers. They can go vet us. They can do whatever they want. You guys are getting to leverage all of our infrastructure, our companies, our track record, all of our presence in the space. Here it all is, okay? Multiple companies, multiple systems, multiple teams that you get to use and leverage, okay? All right, so let's get into the opportunity now, okay? What is this opportunity? Well, it's a custom CRM that you guys are going to get access to. It's going to have a private number. You're going to have unlimited texting, emailing, and your own calendar link if you need to book a call with a seller or an agent to follow through. You're also going to get weekly leads, okay? You're going to have a dedicated data manager that's going to push these leads through. Now, depending on what market you're in, we don't know how many leads we can provide you because we don't know how many motivated sellers there are in a specific area, right? If you're in a secondary or tertiary market, you might only get 5 a week. If you're in a primary market, you might get 10 a day, okay? We're only going to give you what you can process, and there's a system and a process that we use to follow and track that, okay? You're going to get access to the Deal Evaluator software and a weekly call on the Deal Evaluator software itself. No charge. You're going to get to go into that. We're going to have with Alan primarily is Ask the Attorney, which is a live call. We can ask Q&A relative to the legal structure on something, or questions relative to maybe a seller question or a buyer question that you might have. The other thing that we do, and I didn't put it in here, is that when we write the contracts to the sellers, and you're writing these, we give our sellers a 3-day option period to cancel. 3-day option period. What does that mean? Well, just like we have a buyer option period, we give the seller a 3-day option period on a creative financing deal. And the reason why we do that, because we want them to consult an attorney to ask any questions they have relative to the legality or the structure of the deal. Well, if it's inside of our infrastructure, we will set up a call with Alan, for example, and the seller and the agent or whoever they want can get on a quick discovery call and have a conversation with them to ask any questions they might have relative to the structuring the deal, and so forth. So that's the Ask the Attorney call as well. You're going to get a weekly CRM support call if you have any questions and questions relative to the CRM. There's going to be a weekly support call that. Plus, you're going to have access to technical support via chat. So if you have any questions, you have any issues, something's not working when we get into the software, something that's not processing right, we'll have that as well. Okay. Elvie, do we have any questions up to this point in time that I can answer? I need to go find my, let's see if I'm in my Q&A here. It's not in the chat. Where's my Q&A? Let's see what we have here. Pull this up real quick. Q&A. Why I'm not seeing that, I don't know. Elvia, what I'll do is if there's any questions, can you do me a favor and just, I can't see the Q&A. Can you just copy and paste them into the chat for me so I can see it if there's any questions as we go along? All right. That was the opportunity. Let's talk about the platform now. Okay. The platform is, let's see here. We just talked about it briefly. It's a customized software built on the Go High Level platform. You're gonna get your own private number. You're gonna get your own texting and email thing. You're gonna get your own contracts that are already gonna be in there. You're gonna get your own calendar, customized documents depending on what market you're in. Dedicated data manager, tech support, online chat, and then your software. Yes. So let me look at these questions real quick. I have to be local to the markets? I live in Maryland. So the short answer is no, but you have to be vetted as an acquisition and disposition. So there's a lot of people that know how to negotiate virtually. A lot of people don't. I could care less if you live on the moon, honestly. If call Elon Musk and see if he can get you there. Don't care. This is a performance. This is a rev share. We're going to provide all the technology, all the leads, all the software, all the support, everything you need. All you need to do is go get the contract. Okay. We're providing all that. And there's a rev share situation for that. You don't have to pay for this. The same, and we'll get to that here in a second. This is the same stuff that we're selling leads on right now on USA Lead Machine for, there or USA Lead Machine selling, for $3,000 for 20 leads, okay? And there's no support on it whatsoever. I'm on call if you, yeah, so, let's see here, seems too good to be, yeah, so that's it. So, yeah, it's not too good to be true because we're splitting the revenue with you 50-50. You get a 10,000 deal, we're keeping 5, you're keeping 5. If you don't want to split it, then don't be a partner. Go do your own work. I am telling you right now, you will not be able to keep up with the amount of leads we can process if you can do what you do in the as part of the team. Okay. Will Alan answer any of the seller question once we have? Yes. Well, if it's like from Texas, like Alan is not going to close in and out of Texas, but all the attorneys that we use and all the title companies we use as part of our relationship, they're required to have a conversation with the seller and or their agent relative to what we do. Okay. But we will never waste their time unless we have a contract and title is open. Then they'll jump on the call and answer the questions. Okay. So what are the next steps to participate? We're getting that close. We're getting over there in a second. So, let's see, platform, I did that. So markets. So trying to click on this here. So what is this? What markets are we? We're going to be in the top 300 markets by the end of 2025. That means we're going to release 5 to 10 new markets a week, depending on who comes into the program, when they come in. We don't care what market it is. We have the ability to generate the leads. We have relationships and the ability to back in all of this on a nationwide platform. We have direct to seller and agent, all creative financing. We do not do anything for cash. That's somebody else. Okay. Because there's just so many creative deals. And we have so many potential back end buyers for it. We're only doing creative deals. That's it. Okay. Seller finance, sub 2, hybrid. That's it. And they're either direct to seller or through an agent. Okay. Depending on if they're listed or not. These leads are qualified leads, specifically creative financing, no wholesale leads. I just said that. Acquisition and dispos are responsibility of the JV partner. So you can either have another person on your team and you split it up. I don't care, but that all falls on you. We have some ability to help dispo out, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to finalize the contract that we provide to you and figure out how to get paid. We will help structure the deal and help get it executed and make sure it's done properly. But those are the responsibilities of the JV partner specifically. We're likely going to do 10 new JV partners a week, depending on this. I don't know how many we have on the call. We have quite a few. We'll talk about how to submit that and get approval quickly and actually start processing contracts and leads as early as next week as we go along. And then we're going to leverage our companies by name. So all the companies that we're going to use to negotiate and put under contract, they can all be vetted and they can go on to tax records and whatever and see that this isn't our first rodeo. So you get the benefit and leverage of all the stuff that we've done as companies and individuals on the number of deals that we've done, and our proof of funds, our banking, our historical track record, our online presence, all that stuff, our testimonials. You have access to all of that because you're going to be acquiring as one of based on one of our companies, and then your fee will be split accordingly. Okay. What else do we have? So let me shift this over to this side real quick. Move this over. So we're going to get into the demo right now so you can see exactly how this works. Okay. So I am going to pull up, hopefully my platform's still here. Let's see here and show you exactly what happens and how it works. Okay. Let's make sure I get logged in here. Hope it didn't log me out. Awesome. So this is a demo pipeline right here. Okay. Actually, it's probably an active pipeline. So the leads come in. First of all, we got to get all the data. Okay. We scrape all the data. We use our AI technology. We do everything. And then we run it through another set of calculations to determine the probability that we can negotiate a deal creatively. That's number one. It goes into our pipeline. it goes in a new lead. We start an initial conversation. We do follow-up sequences. All this stuff is done before it ever even gets to you. Some of the leads will fall out. Some will get moving on as we go down the stream, okay? As we go downstream in this, is all this stuff is happening before you're even notified. All these steps don't even come into play until we get to you guys to come in right here. This is your first step to get. So all this stuff is happening beforehand. So we're doing answering questions. We're getting on calls with sellers and agents. This is what the data manager does, and making sure that we have an opportunity to negotiate a deal. And then from there, we create what's ready for contract. Okay. And it goes to the ready for contract stage. So right here, we know, I already know, I have all the data and all the details. Let me see if I can move this over. I don't think I can. Here's the actual opportunity. I can go into this record right here. I can't see everything. Excuse me for a second. And I can go in this contact, and I have all the data information relative. I actually need to show it on a different screen. Let me see if I do it here. Here it is. All the information is right here. Every bit of it, okay? All the conversations that we've had here, voicemails, everything is all recorded here. Here's all the property details. It has all of our formulas in it to make the offer. So we're gonna, like right here, this is still before it gets to you. We've already done all this, okay? Before it gets to you, this is what's happening in the background. So that when it gets to you, it's already a highly qualified, highly vetted lead, and we've already gonna send the contract. Because then this is what happens next. We take this ready for contract, okay? As soon as I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna change the status on this, and I'm gonna send this contract. This is a sub 2 contract. I'm gonna create and send, and as soon as I send this contract, I click this, I move it, it's automatically gonna, this is where the partnership comes in. It moves it over to too many things. JV partner, negotiator step 1. Remember, there was nothing here. And now it's signed to whoever that person is. It would be you. It's your own dedicated pipeline. Now you can get in there and you can do your outreach to Julie, who is either the seller or the agent in there. There's already a contract that's been generated and sent. Okay. I can actually click on this right here. I can see the actual contract. It's already here. Here's the contract right here. I just sent her an email saying, hey, I just sent you the contract for the property. I can open this up right here. I can open the contract. LV, can I not know why I can see that contract? I may not have sent it. I may have did it. It might be because it's in a demo mode. The contract's right there. If I need to go over and edit the contract, I can do that too. It's all right here in the, it's in demo mode. That's probably why the contract didn't send. So here it is. And then from there, once it gets to your side, which is your first step is right here, then these are all your steps. We'll teach you how to use this pipeline, how to move stuff through, how to communicate inside the pipeline, etc. But you do not, this lead, when it gets to you in your pipeline, you'll get a text message saying you have a new lead in your pipeline. When it gets to here, the agent or the seller has been contacted by a text message from you saying, you check your email, we just sent you a contract. Then you can follow up with them and have a negotiation and finalize the negotiation on how that is. And then I'll show you the offer when we get to the software, exactly what that looks like here in a minute. And this is it. So we're not going to get into details on the pipeline. This is what the CRM training will be for. It's about a 30-minute training. And then you're just moving stuff through the pipeline, whatever it is so far. Okay. So that is this right here. Okay. We're not going to get into the details, but it's a customized pipeline. You have your own phone number on this. You can send out as many text messages and emails. You can click right in here. You can come in here. You can call them. You can do all this stuff. It's all through Go High Level, all through your dedicated account. Okay. You are providing the end buyers. Absolutely not. That's disposition. You got to solve that problem yourself. Okay. Not providing the end buyers. Okay. We have a system that we can use, but the responsibility falls on the partner. We're doing all this other stuff. Your job is to take, finalize the negotiation and dispo it. We can maybe help somewhat of it, but it's not what we do. Gap funding available? No. Okay. That's not what we do. Okay. There's an opportunity for gap funding. Okay. Are we okay with California? Yes, I'm okay with California. Do not care because we're going to acquire and disposition. Do people buy these deals in California? Absolutely. All right. We're building a dispo platform out, but we're not going to bring that in here right now. It's an extra feature or bonus, but you guys have to be able to acquire and dispo. If you can't acquire and dispo in whatever market you're in, this is not for you. Okay. You need to go to a partnership that has the ability to do that. Okay. You can use one of the ones that we talked about. If you need help with that, send support at nickthenotiguy.com and we will send you that information. Okay. Not going to talk about them there because we're agnostic. We don't care who you use. We don't care who you want to partner with. All we care is that if we're going to give you these leads, these qualified leads, that you're able to execute. That's it. Okay. That's it. That's what we do. That's what we need from you. And we're able to process and give you as many of these as we can based on the size of the market that you're in and your ability to process and move into the system. Okay. Who's responsible for carrying costs? Whoever the buyer is. Okay. Most of these, 90% of these, you're going to assign them to an end buyer. That's the buyer's responsibility. Okay. We're going to show you how to structure these and get paid on them and negotiate them. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back out here. What else we need? Okay. So I want to show let's show this one deal. I started filling it in, but I haven't finished it yet, but let's talk about it because who's the buyer on this deal? Oh, that is not the right one. Let me go back here. It was on Espinosa. Thought I had it open already. That's all right. I'll find it. Let's go here. The deal that I just had in the demo, this is the actual deal. The contract was generated. Here are the numbers in the system. So I'm going to show you what this deal ultimately would look like. So I got to go to, this is a subject to deal. This is software. I'm not going to get in the weeds on it. I'm not going to teach you how to use it. Understand that you have access to this software. This one, that the demo is a hybrid deal. What does a hybrid deal mean? Well, you should know what a hybrid deal is if you're going to be a JV partner. We're taking over an existing mortgage. We're giving the seller some cash and we're going to have them carry back the back end of the note. Here's the deals. 183 is the balance. They're carrying back $200,000 at 2% on a 15-year balloon. It's still on this term right here. We're going to go in here now. We're going to go to the sale. What is the sale? We already know what the sale price is. It's going to be $400,000. Okay. 10% down. We're going to leave the two notes in there. At that price point, we'll do 9%. There again, don't worry about these numbers. We can show you all this. I'm just showing you this deal because I don't want to spend 2 hours on this call. That's not the purpose of it. Just going to show you what this deal looks like. This is where the gap funding comes in. So guys, if you wanted to keep these deals for yourself, we don't care because we're going to just take the back end of the split anyway. If you have $54,000 to do this deal and you can borrow it, great. But if you want to flip it to an investor or somebody's going to do it, then we're going to say you're going to put in here and we're going to put in the amount of 15% on 60 months as the default and we're going to solve. Okay. $48 negative cash flow a month. It's pretty damn cool. It's actually a positive. Let's see what this deal ultimately looks like to an investor. I'm just going to go through this. We're going to solve it for 120 months. It's $154,000 profit. Okay. This is the deal, right? This is the deal that we just sent the contract on. We know that this is a deal before we put in the deal evaluator because we put the data into the contact. We already solved for it. So if they accept the offer, we already know it's going to work. I was just showing you how this works in a software. So you would be able to come in here. Let's go to property purchase, property purchase. It's got a $10,000 assignment fee on it. Okay. Seller is going to pay the agent their fee out of their money. This is a $10,000 assignment fee. So actually what I'll do is I'm going to move this down to here. So if this was your deal and you negotiated it and this was the deal and we found the back end buyer based on the terms that we just put in here, the assignment fee is $10,000. So if it's a 50-50 split, 50% is going to us, 50% is going to you. 5,000, 5,000. All you did was finalize the deal and find the buyer. That's it. If you can negotiate a better deal because you're a better negotiator, great. Negotiate a better deal. Okay. But these are the breakdown on this. Carrying costs would be the responsibility. If the buyer was going to be an investor, then they would put it in here. And if you wanted to solve for that, you could. If you're going to be the buyer, you could put that number in there if you choose. Okay. High level overview of the deal evaluator software. Okay. I'm not going to get into the weeds on it. This is a tool that we can structure deals with very quickly to see if it's a deal or not creatively. Okay. We provide the training and the software at no additional charge to do these deals once you get them under contract. Okay. I was just showing it from this perspective. Okay. We don't really need to go here. This is one of the tools that we use. So that is the demo. Okay. So we're almost wrapping this up and then we'll get to the live questions here. So why use USA Lead Machine? Well, because we're going to provide you the leads, provide you the CRM, no charge, provide you the infrastructure, no charge, the credibility, no charge, provide you everything you need to do these deals. So all you got to do is you got to focus on closing the deal and finding the buyer. You don't have to worry about data stacking. You don't have to worry about buying something over here. You don't have to pay for anything. You've already paid for all the education that you need. Now it's about doing deals. And if you don't want to do a JV split after a few, then don't do JV split anymore. Go do it all on your own. I don't really care. But if you're going to do partnership with us, we're going to JV split at 50-50, at least on the first handful of deals, because we got to manage that. There's a cost for all this. There's a cost for Go High Level. There's a cost for the team. There's a cost for the data. There's a cost for texting. There's a cost. You guys are doing this business. You know, this stuff is not free. We're putting our chips all in, and we're vetting you as potential partners that you do what you say you can do, so we can all benefit together. Because there isn't any, you don't have the safety net on the back end like with anybody else, especially yourself, unless you've done 1,500 of these. Like you can go look my name up. I could literally show you 1,500 closing statements where I signed as the buyer, where I bought these deals, and as the seller when I sold these deals. 1,500 of them. I mean, it's my name. So we want to make sure that these things are vetted properly. That's what we do. Okay. So that's why you do it. So what is next steps? We're wrapping this up and then we're going to move on. So what are the next steps here? Well, you're going to complete the JV partner agreement. I'm going to show you where that is here in a second. Okay. In fact, if you go to USA Lead Machine right here, you go to USA Lead Machine and you want to buy these leads that we're providing, it's no joke. They're $29.95 and you don't get any, you get access to the CRM. You don't get anything else because this is for the wholesalers that already negotiate. They get to keep all 100% of it. So if you decide you want to do these on your own and you like these leads, just go buy them and do your own business and keep all of it. I don't really care. Makes no difference to me. Okay. So I'm just showing you right here that you can go buy this direct if you choose. So let me go back. So you're going to get a link. Okay. And go to JV Partner here. Just a little bit more overview, but you just saw this in a video. And you're going to go to this link right here. And you're going to sign up now. You're going to put all your information in it right here. You're going to tell us what counties. Give us 3 counties that you have experience in and you have knowledge in, so you can be efficient at doing these deals. Okay. Answer these questions. How many creative financing deals have you completed? I don't care if you've been doing it 2 months or 22 years. Okay. I just care about how many deals you negotiated and or disposed relative to this. That's what that means. Okay. Then you sign it and you apply it and you hit that button, apply button, and then you're going to get a email. Okay. You're going to get an email, and in the email, you're going to get the JV partner agreement to review and sign and return. You're going to get a link to watch our sub 2 compliance training that we usually charge $9.97 for, but you're going to give it to you for free because we want you to be knowledgeable relative to why we do these deals. You're going to get a link to watch my presentation on cash flow at Cash Flow Expo. Okay. You're going to get a link if you choose. You don't have to, because I said there's no charge for any of this. If you want to get access to the RAP University training, there'll be a link in the email. You don't have to do it. Highly recommend it. You can do it. Okay. You're going to get a link in the email to download the Deal Evaluator software with instructions. You're going to get a link to book a 10-minute Q&A call with probably Spencer from USA Lead Machine to answer any other questions you have relative to doing this. And then you'll then once that's all done, we will build out your custom CRM, your pipeline for your market. We'll start uploading the leads. We'll assign it to a data manager that will start processing it and sifting and funneling the leads through to get them to you to do the negotiation. Okay. You don't have to mess with anything on the front side. We are doing all of the texting and all of the outbound dialing and everything that needs to be done. We are the ones on the hook from the compliance. So we have to make sure that everything is done in accordance to the compliance guidelines and rules, whether it be email or outbound dialing or text messaging. That's all on us. They're all vetted. They're opted in. By the time they get to you, they know when you call Barbara, Barbara knows that Mike is going to be calling her, and you as Mike are having a conversation and moving forward. That's it. Okay. So the other thing you'll have is that we do, so how does the timeline work? So after you're approved, you have to have everything submitted by noon on Thursdays. Well, we're past noon on Thursday, so we're extending it for the live piece only till the end of the day to get into the pipeline if you want to be reviewed and approved and start working leads on Monday. Okay, that's what'll happen. So follow this link that you're going to get. I'm gonna show it to you again, and we'll put it into the chat. It's actually all you got to do is go to USA Lead Machine. I'm gonna show it to you one more time, guys. All you got to do if you want to be a JV partner, okay, is go to usaleadmachine.com. Go to JV partner. Okay. This is right now, because then there's the video, the training will be here and you won't see this. Go get started now. Fill this form out right here. Okay. This is it right here. Fill it out and then you'll get an email. Okay. And then you can move on from there. The other thing I want to make sure you understand is make sure you check your spam. Okay. Because Elvia, where is this email coming from? Is it coming from support at USA Lead Machine?
Yes.
Okay. So it's coming from, I'll put it right here. Type it in right here. Support at usaleadmachine.com. So once you fill that apply now and you submit it, make sure you check your email, because if it goes to spam, you won't see the next set of instructions. It's a simple agreement. It just tells you how you get paid, what your responsibilities are, what our responsibilities are, or what the responsibilities are of USA Lead Machine. Get that submitted, book a quick call, and then what'll happen from there is that anything that gets approved by end of day tomorrow, which is Friday in this situation, will actually be uploaded, and you'll go into there'll literally be contracts and leads in your pipeline when you join the call on Monday at 3 p.m. Then we'll move them over and we'll show you how to use it, and you'll actually start negotiating and finalizing contracts immediately. Okay, you will have contracts that need final negotiations that same day. There's no joke. I mean, it is legitimate stuff. So this is it. So go to USA Lead Machine, go to apply now to the JV partner, follow that, and then follow the instructions in the email, and then have your quick Q&A call so Spencer can introduce himself to you and answer any questions you have relative to the process of the system, and you are on your way. And that is it. So I think, let me stop sharing this real quick. Let me just check the let's see here. So, okay, with California, who's responsible for carrying? We're talking about, do we need to create a website, or do you have one that we can direct our sellers to? You can do whatever you want. We will have access to a disposition site. Oh, I didn't go through the Creative Realtor Network. So Yeah, let me, that's a good point. Let me go back and share my screen. How did I miss that one? Let me go back here. Give me a second. Did I close it? There it is. Did I miss it? Go back over here. Under partners, I think I just flew through it too quick. Yeah. So we have the Creative Realtor Network as well. So there's a fee for this because it's not free, but we can manage and promote your inventory, your properties you get under contract here as well. This is not the, I would not rely on this as your disposition channel, okay? This is just another opportunity to disposition, okay? But all the stuff's here. These are the creative deals. This could be for an owner finance buyer, could also be for an investor. We will post and promote it here. I think the charge to find a buyer is going to be 5%. So if it's a $300,000 house, okay, then it's gonna come from someplace. It's probably gonna come from the seller proceeds. Or excuse me, from the proceeds when you sell it to the buyer, because you're gonna get the down payment. So 15,000 of that would come from here. So anyway, it's really more for people that are gonna be owner finance buyers, and you're gonna build it out that way, than investors. A little bit different situation. So that's one of about 3 different disposition channels. Okay, what else do we have here? I'm going to be wrapping this up and then we're going to go to live. So let me go to my chat. See what else do we have here. You don't have to be local. The email comes from Nick Spencer. Elvie, did you put that on there? So
Yeah, yep. When you were talking about email.
So you're doing acquisition disposition. You're controlling acquisitions and dispositions. You can have 7 people on your team for all I care. Okay, but you're the responsible party because these leads are not cheap and they work. And you should get, look, for every 20 of these that go into your negotiator status, your JV pipeline, you should get you should get 1.2 to 1.3 contracts. Okay, so you do the math. Okay. There's no reason why, if you're in this program, you should not be doing 1 deal a week. If you're not, you're probably not going to be in this program very long, because we can't afford to keep doing everything and having people that don't know how to negotiate and close deals. Okay. That's part of this thing. So what we provide is hopefully what you need, which is a system and structure and technology and leads and the infrastructure and the legal side of it, everything that you need to be successful. Your job is to be able to, what we need you to be able to do is be a badass negotiator, deal closer, and potentially a disposition partner. Okay, that's it. You can find somebody else to disposition your deals and pay them whatever part of the fee that you're going to get the disposition for you. Okay, that's what a lot of people do. There's a lot of people that specialize in disposition and others that specialize in acquisition. I don't really care. Okay. But what we do monitor and track on the KPIs is how many deals are we sending to you? How many contracts are we submitting for you? How many deals are you closing relative to those numbers? And how many are we getting actually paid on? Because if we're sending out 50 and we're not getting any money, you're not going to be on the program very long. I'm going to find somebody else that's better at negotiating and better than dispositioning. It doesn't physically have to be you that dispositions. You can outsource that to whoever you know, like, and trust. That's up to you. Cut your own deal. We're taking half the deal on the 50-50 side, whether you keep the money for yourself on the dispo or you pay somebody else. Okay. So let's see, what other questions do we have here? And then we're going to wrap this up and then we'll go to a live if we have any live. So so you're controlling acquisitions and dispositions. So you can build your own little team. I don't really care. That's up to you. You know what the deal is going to yield, okay, based on the contract and what you're going to assign it for based on the outcome. Can we continue to split the monthly? I don't know what that means. So if you're talking about the monthly on the back side, well, there's going to have to be a buyer for there. So I'm not sure. We can maybe talk about that on the live Q&A, because that sounds like a little bit of a question. Okay, I think this is the last question. If not, LV put in the chat. If we get the property under contract and I structure a pad split is your team able to handle contracts and paperwork? I will sign in my in buyer for a $50 case something. So we're gonna get half of that. And yes, anything on the back end side of it, yes, that's what we do. Okay. That's why we spent years and years. I've gone through dozens and dozens and hundreds of title companies and attorneys and servicers and underwriters. That's why you will never see me give out names just randomly on the stuff that we do. It's just not worth it to me. Guys, this is what I do every single day. Okay. I have my own little thing. I do my own deals. This is why I don't teach this stuff. Okay. I don't teach it. If you're in the Creative Dealmaker community, I'm doing the deal evaluator software, deal structuring. Mojo Michael is doing all of the negotiating stuff. If you are in the Creative Dealmaker community, that's what he does. Okay. If you're in Pace's community, that's what he teaches you. If you're in, somebody else's, Brad Smothers, that's what they do. Okay. I don't do that. I teach you how to structure these deals from a compliance and a legality standpoint to protect the integrity of the transaction and how to generate cash now, cash flow, cash later relative to that specific deal. And if you want to stay in the deal and you can be a funding and you have the ability to fund your own deals, then I would on another piece of it, I could potentially be a JV partner and I would split the back end with you on the deal if it makes sense. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. In the 300 markets you're going into, are you focused on median homes for that specific market? If not, what are the parameters? So it depends. Okay. It depends on if it's primary, secondary, tertiary market. It depends on which market it is. Okay. We're making the opportunity available to the people that can acquire in dispo. Like, I'm not a fan of Minneapolis, Minnesota, but you may be really good in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I don't want to, look, if you have the ability to acquire and you have the little niche in Minneapolis, Minnesota for $250,000 to $400,000 price point houses, we will build you the pipeline for that. Okay. If you say, I don't want anything above $500,000, you need to know your own market. I don't know your market because $500,000 house in Los Angeles is a below median price point house. $500,000 house in Des Moines, Iowa is probably not, it's probably above FHA requirements, minimum requirement or maximum loan amount. So this is you guys, this is your box. You're going to tell us what you want, where you want it, because you know better than anybody else how to structure the deal and what the deal looks like. Now, the tighter you make that box, the less leads you're going to get. Okay. So if you have the ability to do $1 million home because you know that you can turn it into some other kind of exit. Okay. Because you're good at that. Somebody mentioned PadSplit. Hey, and you have the ability to find PadSplit buyers or hedge fund buyers or, whatever kind they are. That's up to you. That's what you guys could, that's why we need you. We're not experts in that. We're not experts in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but you might be. You need to tell us what it is. That's what the Q&A call is for. So when we go build your pipeline, you say, hey, I want all seller financing and sub 2 deals below $600,000 with a maximum interest rate of 6%. Okay. That's what you're telling us. We're going to take all the data in the data world using AI and all kinds of other integrations. We're going to go find that. The tighter you make that box for us to go start working, the less leads you're going to have. Okay. So the broader you can make it, the better off you're going to be. But you don't want to go too broad and not be able to negotiate. Okay. That's not going to be good on you. You're better off taking smaller and then expanding it out. Okay. Hope that answered your question. Is the opportunity available on Idaho? Look, yes. I don't care. It's anywhere in the United States, Alaska and Hawaii included. If you have the ability to negotiate a creative deal in Bismarck, North Dakota, tell us what that box looks like so we can go find the deals, vet the sellers. Okay. Make sure it's an opportunity through our scraping of the data and our analyzing the data and in the top of the funnel so that when it gets to you, our job is to give you a qualified, motivated seller that fits into the box of a seller financing hybrid sub 2. That's our job. Okay. and it's a big job that we do. We might have to go through 5,000 of these to find 500 potential opportunities, or 50 for that matter. And then from there, we do what we do to hand it over to you. So I don't care where it's located. I don't care what the price point is. I don't care what the terms of the deal are. You need to know what that is so that you can go structure the deal, so you can figure out how to get paid. Because you write a bad contract, no one's going to buy the damn deal. Okay. No one buys the deal, you can't get paid. More importantly, I don't get paid. USA Leap Machine, all of our partners don't get paid. So we're putting all the money into it because we trust that you guys can negotiate and do what you say you can do. But if you can't, then you won't be a partner for very long. Okay. So be truthful with it. And if you're close on some things and you're still on the fence and you're not quite there yet, just send us an email to support@nickthenoteguy.com and we will give you a referring partner. Maybe that's better for that area. You go work a deal with them. And then if you need to come back in six months later after you do 3 or 4 deals, great. I don't really care. But we don't teach that. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what the ideal avatar is for Jacksonville, Florida. You need to tell me what the ideal is so I can go build the data pile so we can start using technologies that we've built and build out the formulas and then putting in the deal value and all that stuff. That's what we can provide to you. Okay. So you're not just kicking, so you're not going through 10,000 maybes. You're really focusing on the 50s that are, yeah, my hand's raised. I'm ready to move forward. Okay. All right. So, I have a loan request, 25,000 on an 800,000 property in New Jersey. Would you be interested? I'm not really sure what that means, on there. Send it over to support. We take a look at it. We're not lenders. Okay. We're data providers. We're contract generators and back-end support. That's what we do. Okay. We're not a lender. Now, if you need help finding lender, we have some referrals. We're more than happy to give you that and get you that access as well. That's not what this is. We're providing you the leads. We're generating the data based on what the avatar that it is. Your job is to go finalize the negotiation directly with the seller or the agent, sub-2, seller finance, hybrid, and then figure out how to get paid on it by dispositioning it. Okay. We have a small disposition channel that we can help with. Okay. But there's no guarantee, and that's in addition to what we're talking about here. You better have a way to find a way to dispo your deal, or you're not going to be successful in here. But there's plenty of people in the community that you can reach out to that can do that for you, and you give them a piece of that piece, a piece of your pie. All right. I don't really care. Okay. It doesn't really matter. Do you do novation deals? Look, if you get a motivated seller, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going after creative financing deals, sub-2 seller finance, hybrid. Okay. Is there a chance that you can negotiate that as a lease option? Absolutely. Could you turn around and negotiate it as an innovation? Yeah, if it's an off-market deal. If it's on market, you probably can't. So can you change the script and make it a contract? Absolutely. We're going to provide you motivated seller leads creatively. Okay. That's what we do. Okay. That's what USA Lead Machine does. That's what we're providing. What you do with that lead to convert it to a contract and get paid, that's all part of the levers that go up and down. You might be able to cut a better deal and a different deal. I don't care, because you're not going to stay in the deal. You're going to sign it for a fee anyway. Whatever that fee is, we're gonna rev share on it, regardless of what it is. And you're going to use our back end, and the other requirement is you must use our back end, underwriting, compliance, insurance, all that stuff. Okay. Our vetted strategic partners that we know, like, and trust, not only to protect us, but to protect you and whoever the buyer and the seller are. Okay. All right. So a couple more questions and we're going to wrap this up. Are we able to buy the deals that sent? Yes. Yes, you are. So what we will do is that you can buy them, but we'll run the numbers based on what the market value would be based on that. I think it's in the thing. There's a minimum fee in there. On your Q&A call, you can ask that question. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, you have the ability to keep these deals for yourself and just pay the technology fee instead of the 50/50 rev, because you're keeping it for yourself. It's a fee that goes on it. Yes. The short answer is it's available. Okay. Okay, so are the qualified leads already run through Dealer Value before we receive them as a JV partner? No. I will tell you this, that we've already built in calculations, okay, based on the data that we put in, that with a very high degree of probability, when I say some things could get messed, well over 95%, if the default number is on the initial offer and contract that gets sent out, it will pass the deal evaluator minimum requirements that I set forth when I built it. The cash now, cash flow, cash later, where if you're going to stay in the deal, it passes the cash, the 100-month, the 120-month payout and the 100K payday. It passes those minimum requirements. Now I haven't done one yet that it doesn't. That's why we built the data going in. We already know the answer to the question when we put it in there. We already know that it's going to pass. Now, if they start tweaking it and negotiating and say, hey, I don't want to do a 15-year balloon, I only want to do 8. Well, then you got to go into the software and go, okay, I'm going to solve it for 8 years. What do I need to change to the numbers so it still works? Well, can't give you $50,000 down. I can only give you 40. And I can't give you, I need X. I need to reduce the sales price by whatever. Okay. Those are all levers. That's what the deal evaluator software does. So the default number, if it passes the initial and you can get it negotiated, you don't need to go back and put it into the software. What I would do is get the contract accepted or get it renegotiated, put it under contract, put it in an option period, get whatever data you need back, and then go solve in the deal evaluator. And then during the option period, you can come back and renegotiate if it doesn't work, because that's the whole point of the option period, right? So that's how I do it personally myself. Okay. We're not trying to retrade the deal. We're just trying to make sure that it works financially. Okay. All right. But you're sure more than welcome to go change it before you do the counter offer. Again, it's your deal. You get to acquire it and negotiate any way you choose. We don't tell you how to do that. Okay. All right. I don't have, Elvia, is there any more questions?
No, that was the last one.
All right, super. So we're gonna wrap this up right now. And if you have any additional questions, raise your hand and we'll bring you on and we'll just answer them and have a conversation. And if not, just go to usaleadmachine.com, follow the JV partner prompt, fill out that questionnaire, hit submit, and wait for the email. Make sure you check your spam. It's coming from support@usaleadmachine.com. So make sure once you submit it, you go check that out and you do it. Book your call, follow the instructions, and hopefully you guys will want to become a JV partner on these deals. One last question: Will we need to supply the EMD? That's on a it depends basis. We will, if we think it's a valid deal and you used our contract, we would potentially be able to help provide the EMD. Okay, we can do that. It just depends, because if you're negotiating in New York, okay, I'm not doing any deals in New York, so I'm probably not going to fund you EMD in New York. But if you're saying I got one in Arizona or Colorado or Georgia or Alabama or Ohio, then if the deal looks good and I see it in the deal evaluator in case we want to stay in it, yes. Okay. It just depends. It's on a deal by deal basis, but there's plenty of people that you can utilize to transactionally fund the EMD. We already know all this. Okay. Those are all available to you. I don't really care how you do it. So it depends. All right. All right. I am gonna just double check this. That's it. So guys, go click on the link, do that, and we hope to see you on the inside. Thanks again. Okay, so let's go to the questions here real quick. And let's see what we got here. Let's go to view. I think it looks like we got a couple with their hand raised. Okay, so Chris, you can unmute yourself and you can come on here.
Thanks, Nick. Can you hear me?
You can.
Awesome. Yeah, real quick. So, like you mentioned, there's cash up front, cash flow, and cash on the back end. So, all three stages are split 50-50.
No, because you become your own, that, if you're staying in the so there's two ways to look at it, and I don't really want to go in there because that's not the point of it, but that's sort of like another phase in the deal. First of all, you got to get the deal, okay? And then we analyze the deal, and there's a value associated with that deal. And you could plug yourself as in being the end buyer. So if you were going to be the end buyer, okay, and you were going to provide your own funding on the deal, well then, and you wanted to have a partner to help facilitate all this on the back end, then that would be a separate negotiation on how we were going to JV split and stay in the deal. Okay. That's not what it's typically for. 90% of the people that are going to do this are going to solve it for the value of the contract and assign the contract to somebody. There's a lot of people that have the ability to negotiate these deals and acquire them and dispo them, but they have no business staying in these deals. They don't have the financial capacity to stay in them. They don't have the experience to stay in them, and they don't have the tolerance for the risk to stay in them. Okay. Doesn't mean they don't understand them. That's not what they want to do. So when you use the software and you do the process, you can solve for the optimal number on the value on what the contracts work if you sell it creatively. A lot of wholesalers do this and they sell them and they may make 5 or 6 or 7,000. We're seeing stuff that you might make 25,000 because you understand the back end of the number using the software. That's the value. And you might find a really good deal in an area that you want to keep for yourself. Yes, and we just solve it for you and figure out what that was. We basically solve it to a cash neutral of 0 number and put it in the system and meet the requirements. And then we solve for what the fee would be on that deal. And then we would take the split on and you get to keep, you just pay yourself the other side. So if we solve it in the model and it comes out to be, well, the assignment fee would be say $12,000. I'm just making a round number up. Then our fee on that would be 6. You'd keep the other 6 and you would just keep the deal.
Got it. Yeah. Because my interest is in being in the deal for the life of it.
Oh yeah. That's where all the money is. But
Yeah,
you got to have
exactly.
you got to have the skill sets to understand the back end of it. And you also have you have to have the capacity to fund the deals on the front, in the middle, because yeah, that's the whole point of what we do and what I do personally. So when you get to that point in time, if I don't want to stay in the deal, then I would just consult for you, okay, and tell you what you need to do, how to do it, so you can stay in that deal on the back end if you haven't done it, okay. And if I do want to stay in the deal, here's the thing, I would tell you this is that I'm going to tell you where my position is on it and why I wouldn't stay in this deal, and then it's up to you to say yes or no if that's what you want to do, okay. There's a lot of ways, there's a lot of things that we go through to evaluate the deal, and it's not just financial, okay? There's a lot of other factors, okay? But yeah, if you get a deal, you're running in the model and it comes to this opportunity and it's something that you want to keep for yourself, yeah, I would say probably 25% of the people that are going to do it are looking for their own consumption because they have access to their own private capital and they want to stay in the deals, okay? But the problem is that 95% of the people in the world that do creative financing don't have the financial capacity to stay in these deals, and they don't know how to raise the money. They don't know how to stay in the deal, and they don't even know how to pay back the private money lender that they put in the deals if they're going to wrap these back ends. Okay. So basically what we do is exactly what a bank does. It's arbitrage. It's all that it is. It's no different what Bank of America does. Bank of America goes borrow money from the feds at X. They sell you they lend you the money on Y, at Y, and they take the spread. It's no different. But they have a crap ton of capital sitting there in the event of a problem, in the event of a default. They just go take the property back. They can continue to pay whoever and move on. Okay. If they don't get paid for 6 months, Bank of America, they're not hurting, right? They get it back in the back end. So you have to have some level of patient capital, you have some level of holdings. And this is why we don't do these kind of partnerships with just anybody because of those reasons. Okay.
Understood.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah,
And
appreciate
again,
that. I've got,
what market are you in?
well, I spent most of my life in the Houston area, and that's where I still market to. But now I live in Idaho, so I'm pretty close to Salt Lake, so that's an interesting market to me too.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just in Salt Lake. I'm actually going to be in Idaho in a couple weeks. So, and I'm in Austin, Texas now. So I got all three of them covered. But yeah, Houston's a good market. It's a little bit tricky because you got a lot of insurance issues in Houston, right? So that's one of the checks, that you have to put into the process to go, okay, what's the flood rating? How much is it going to cost me insurance? Is it going to affect affordability when I sell it on a wrap? Not all properties are like that, but you need to check those kind of things out. So super, super important. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And I've got the access to capital, and I'm interested in staying in it long term. So
And
I
when you
appreciate.
do, so Texas, I'm a huge fan of Texas. And so, just reach out to me. Just you can send it to me, nick@nickthenoteguy.com or support@nickthenoteguy.com. And we can talk offline and figure out if there's something we can do to help.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All right, sounds good. All right. Okay, who do we have? Is that it? We had a couple other hands. Maybe I already answered all the questions. Let me just make sure. Peter raised his hands. Let me see what Peter's got to say. Okay, and then Hans. So where did Peter go? Did we lose Peter? Okay, I'm going to go to Hans first. And then if Peter is available, then we will go to whoever's next. So let me bring the pen. All right, let's do Hans first. Okay, Hans, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How's it
All
going?
right, super. Go ahead. How are you?
Doing good. Cool. Yeah. So my question was along the same lines as Chris's, the previous one, which for those of us looking to stay in these deals long term and hold them, basically is that 50-50? Because the reality is, like these sub 2 wraps, they all require the gap funding, private money lending. So then how would the JV partnership breakdown look like?
So if you keep the deal and there's no other back end, like we don't consult on the back end side of it at all, and you find the deal and you keep it, you're just going to pay the predetermined technology fee, which should be in the JV partner agreement. It says if you want to buy it, you're just going to pay us a flat fee. Okay. And we'll
Gotcha.
allow you to do those. Okay. If you want a partner and you need help structuring on the back end, or you need a consulting, and then we would come in and we would I won't do it for everybody, but I would do it for select people that I know understand what this is, because I don't have the bandwidth to sit here and tell you what a promissory note is. Okay. I don't have the bandwidth to tell you what needs. We're just going to do it. And we have the blueprint already. So if you want to stay in these deals, we will give the blueprint on how to structure these deals to stay in the back and make sure you're compliant, it's underwritten correctly. I will provide that to you, no additional charge. If you want to consult with me, I'm not going to probably charge you a fee to consult. I'm going to charge you because I'm going to take a piece of the back end of the deal. Now rev share the back end on the cash now, the cash flow, and the cash later. Okay. That's why we write 2 notes, to be quite honest with you, Hans. It's one of the reasons. So maybe on the wrap, we'll write say it's a 70-30 deal. You keep the first loan wrap at 70. I'll keep the back end, the second 30%. But it's all on the back end. Okay. I usually do not charge on the front end, but I take it on the back end. I usually take a junior position. I always take my payment in the form of a note. Not 95% of the time.
Okay.
Now, unless it's a note I don't want, and you're gung ho on writing a note in East St. Louis, Illinois, which I would never do. Okay, I'm just going to charge you a flat fee to consult for you, and then you keep 100% of it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
we'll just, when we get to those deals, we can just cross the bridge at that point in time. Okay.
Cool.
Because they're all independent of each other. So you need the leads first and then get the deal. And then from the deal, you got to figure out what path you want to take. Okay.
Right.
All right?
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I imagine most folks are probably wanting to wholesale and get an assignment, but
Well, the reason why we did this is because there's the masses need to wholesale these deals. There's very few that have the capacity and the skills to stay in these deals. And that's why we pivoted away from doing it the other way, to be quite honest with you, because I'm just, when we built this out, it's like, oh, we can't find deals. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't have I don't have funding. I don't have, well, then you shouldn't be doing these deals, okay? Go figure out how to raise your own capital and how to structure these deals if you want to stay in them, or have somebody else teach you. That's not what we do, okay? So we just shifted and said, look, okay, here's your opportunity to stay in these deals and still make a substantial amount of money and only have to focus on one or two things. That's it, okay?
I gotcha.
As you go on and you get better at it, then you don't need us as a JV partner. If you still want to buy leads, then just buy the leads direct. I don't really care. If you don't want to buy the leads or be a JV partner, then go get them somewhere else. And hey, I'm fine with that too. We're here to support whoever wants to be supported. If you can do it on your own, then God bless yourself, go do it on your own. But I already know that most people can't do it on their own, and they need a support team because it's a massive step of processes in the thing. To go from acquisition to disposition, it's probably 77 steps. And when it's all said and done, over 500 documents and 500 pages of documents and 90 unique documents and 40 something disclosures. It is a massive undertaking. There's no room for error if this is what you're going to do. So you got to have capable, competent, qualified professionals that can make sure that you're getting it done correctly. Not only from a financial perspective, but from a legal perspective. That's what you're paying for. That's ultimately what you're paying for. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
all right, buddy. Have a good one. Take care. See ya.
All right. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So we got another hand up, Nazir. Hey, Nazir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, man. I'm good. I was just I think you just answered my question with Hans. Basically, if we take down a deal ourselves, we can still leverage you as on the transaction management side to get all those documentation disclosures taken care of. And obviously you could determine how you want to get paid, if you want to stay in the deal or get a fee. Because I know I'm in Maryland. I know we got funky foreclosure laws, but we have areas where rent is higher than mortgages. So it's a no-brainer, in my
Yeah.
opinion, to do a lot of wrap deals in certain areas in Maryland.
That's a great point. That's why I don't care where you do it. If you know how
Got
to
you.
crack the code,
Mm-hmm.
solve the equation based on your market, because you know your market better than I do, you probably can figure out what that avatar looks like and say, hey, I want this price point house in this county, because I know that I can turn around and sell or finance them and make them wraps instead of rentals. I don't care. And then if I don't want to be a partner in that deal, we can still provide you all the infrastructure. So when you get to that point and you want to stay in it, you have two paths you can go down. You can go down the self-service path, and I will be more than happy to give you my no creator blueprint. I already have it. Okay. When you get a contract, I'll give it to you, and you can take that blueprint and just mimic it in any market you want. That's option number one. I'm not charging you for that. Just take it and go to your attorney and your title company in Maryland and say, this is what we did in Texas. I need you to do this for me here in Maryland, and follow every one of those steps in that process. Okay. That's number one. If you don't want to do it, then we can outsource it and find the right insurance company and the right underwriter and the right servicer and the right title company and the right attorney for Maryland. We may already have some people that can do it. And then that would just be just a cost plus situation, and we would just consult for that transaction if needed. And the third option would be, hey, if I really like the deal, then I will do all that for no charge, and I'll stay in and I'll take my fee on the back end and I'll hold the note.
Sounds good. That's
Okay.
all I need to know. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
I think we got one more question here. I think it's Peter. Peter, how are you? Peter, where are you? Unmute Peter, ask to unmute.
Okay, am I here? Okay,
There you are.
Uh,
What's up, Peter? How are you?
fine. For the acquisition lender, for the private money lender, could I give that to my investors to see if they would have first refusal on it?
Say that one more time. Let me make sure I'm just read.
So, you had people joining, helping to bootstrap the deal for the 60 months where they put together the initial funding.
Right.
And so if I have some investors who would like to do that, could I offer to them first and give them first refusal?
On where the money on funding the deal, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't care. We don't have anything to do with the funding. So that would be you just staying in the deal for yourself then and just having your own private money lender fund the deal, is what you're saying?
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't look, I don't care what you do with it, okay? I don't care if you want to move into the damn house. That doesn't make any difference to us whatsoever, okay? You
Okay,
can do whatever you choose. If you want to find your own lender and stay in the deal, you want to find your own lender and move into the house, you want to find your own lender and take it down and figure out how to do something with it after the fact, I don't care. Okay. What we're trying to do is give you the opportunity to solve the equation, give you the data for the market you want to be in, and then show you how we would structure the deal to get maximum value. Because if I can show you how to go from $7,000 assignment fee to $15,000 assignment fee, that's more money for you and me both.
okay,
That's what we do. But I don't care who
Okay.
the buyer is. I don't care where the market is. I don't care what it is. All I care is that whatever it is that we do, that it follows proper protocol to protect the integrity of the transaction. That's it.
okay,
Don't care. Because we can do this anywhere and we can model it for any market, for any price point, for any kind of deal structure. Okay?
okay, thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right, I think that's it. Do I have any, is that it, Elvia? Do we have anybody else? Are we done?
That's all.
All right, I think we're done. Guys, thanks again for sticking around. If you're watching the replay, there's probably a link somewhere that you can click on to follow the next steps if you want to become part of the JV Partner Program. There is no cost. Where you split the revenues on the back end. So there's no cost to get in. You just have to have the experience and the qualifications to become a JV partner with USA Lead Machine. So hope you guys find value in this. Hope to see you guys soon. And if you have any questions, reach out to support at nickthenoteguy.com and we'll get your questions answered. Thanks. Have a good day.